Welcome to Once Upon a Coin, documenting the ongoing history of blockchain and cryptocurrency. And as always, I'm your storyteller, Jason Cassidy. I've been looking forward to this episode for a while because the topic is a favorite of mine. And sure, there is the whole mainstream crypto adoption angle in play here, but honestly, I just think these things are damn cool. You may have run into one of them at an airport or a restaurant, and you most certainly would have seen one by now at a crypto conference. If the techies' way of acquiring Bitcoin is through the mining process, then this is the non-techies' way of getting their hands on some Bitcoin. This is the story of Bitcoin ATMs.
Sun cast a shadow, a digital line is coming over the mountain and over your mind. Double down your Bitcoin, hang on for the ride. We're moving into the future, one block at a time. We're moving into the future, one block at a time.
ATMs, or automated teller machines, have been around for a very long time now. So long, in fact, that we have to go all the way back to the 1960s and the bankograph to find its origins. The ATM experience was a lot different in the beginning, with early incarnations of the ATM having customers interact with a bank teller via a two-way camera.
At a new branch, customers can use a closed-circuit auto bank kiosk for small transactions. By means of a two-way TV and sound link, the business of withdrawing money is faster and safer. While the customer makes out his check, the cashier, who is located on another floor level, gets the money ready. The completed check is put into a pneumatic tube carrier and whisked up to where the money is for scrutiny. As a security precaution, the cashier's TV set is kept on at all times. The security angle of TV banking appeals to staff, cutting out the opportunity for a hold-up. The customer also gets what he wants, efficiently.
Of course, a lot has changed since then when it comes to ATMs, with PIN codes, bank cards, and 24/7 availability. So, what happens when you take a tried, tested, and true technology like ATMs and give it a serious infusion of cryptocurrency? Well, let's find out. Our tale begins in one of the most blessed times in all of crypto history, in the fall and winter of 2013. This is when the price of Bitcoin went parabolic, turning the temperature up on the entire industry. So if you were invested into crypto prior to this moment, then you were making some money, and a lot of it. So then, what better time to introduce the world to the latest innovation in Bitcoin? ATMs. And as we just discussed, with ATMs, or automated teller machines, being around for so long and people having used them probably hundreds of times by now, the feeling was that if you just added Bitcoin into the mix, people would accept it. And this is the whole reason behind why Bitcoin ATMs have become so important and so successful.
The Bitcoin ATMs, a lot of people didn't know how to use them. A lot of people that were using my Bitcoin ATM, actually some of them thought a coin was going to come out of the machine and instead of digital Bitcoin sent to their digital wallet. And as well as other people, I would hear them say, oh, that's for gambling, that's for buying drugs online. So a lot of cases it was a lack of education or a misunderstanding. And then I would kind of let them know the benefits of Bitcoin, where no intermediaries. It's open 24/7. Typically, after having a conversation with them, they would leave a lot more educated and seeing the benefits of Bitcoin in the future. For people who didn't have the means to get on an exchange, Bitcoin ATM has played a very pivotal role in them entering the space.
There's nothing about Bitcoin that's easily relatable to the average person. Whether it's the mining process, buying coins off an exchange, securing a digital wallet, or even the ledger entries. It's all Greek to most people. Education and ease of access have arguably been the two biggest roadblocks to mainstream adoption. And since people are naturally intimidated by things they don't fully understand, anything that drops that barrier of unease is probably a good thing. I can clearly remember the glaze that came over the eyes of a couple of my friends when I sat them down and attempted to explain to them how to buy Bitcoin for the first time. When I told them that all they had to do was create and secure an account at a crypto exchange, KYC themselves and then link their bank account to it, then go to the bank and wire money into the crypto exchange, wait for the money to be credited on the exchange, and then go ahead and buy their Bitcoin, I thought I was doing them a favor by giving them all this knowledge. What I was actually giving them, though, was a heart attack. Conversely, with Bitcoin ATMs, while there was a bit of technical knowledge involved, like setting up a wallet on your smartphone, the overall experience of using a Bitcoin ATM was a familiar process. It was quicker, more hands-on, and just less intimidating than trying to use a crypto exchange, especially in the early days. And so, on October 29th, 2013, the first Bitcoin ATM officially came online at a Waves coffee house in Vancouver, Canada. It was a two-way machine produced by Robocoin, a Nevada-based company. This meant that you could both buy and sell Bitcoin at the ATM. If you wanted to sell Bitcoin, you could do so by sending some to the wallet address of the ATM, which was provided on a QR code. And once received, it would dispense cash back to you. If you wanted to buy Bitcoin, you could put in Canadian dollars and wait for it to spit out a paper wallet with your coins loaded on it. Or alternatively, you could provide your own Bitcoin wallet address and wait for the machine to send the coins over to it. The ATM was a smashing success, with people from all walks of life coming to use and check out the machine at the cafe.
ATMs have been around for a while now, but this one in a humble coffee shop in Vancouver, Canada, can lay claim to being the world's first cash machine for bitcoins. The online currency, invented by an anonymous computer programmer about 4 years ago, is now starting to gain mainstream acceptance.
Robocoin wasn't the only company in the Bitcoin ATM game though, because in that same month of October in 2013, Lamassu, a crypto startup, began shipping out its ATMs across the world. They had orders going out to China, France, Canada, New Zealand, Australia, Denmark, Finland, and a whole lot of other countries. Just 1 month later in November, BitAccess, a Canadian Bitcoin ATM startup, launched, adding to the rapidly growing list of ATM providers that were coming online to offer Bitcoin to the masses. We now had a real trend starting to form here.
In my opinion, Bitcoin ATMs played a very pivotal role in adoption for Bitcoin between 2013 and 2019. I myself purchased a Genesis Coin two-way Bitcoin ATM and installed it in Waterloo, Ontario, Canada, in a bar restaurant near the University of Waterloo where Vitalik went to school. It was not very widely used for the first couple months. As Bitcoin picked up steam in 2017, there was times when there was lines at the bar to actually use it. The Bitcoin ATM, the reason why I put it in was I was having issues myself trying to find Bitcoin, buy it, having trustworthy connections in the space, and that's how I went about it myself.
By the spring of 2014, the bull market in crypto had subsided and ceded control to what would be a long and particularly brutal bear market. But you wouldn't know that by checking the pulse of the Bitcoin ATM market because it was still booming. The first US-based Bitcoin ATM showed up on February 18th, 2014 in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Dubai received its first machine in April of 2014, drawing a lot of attention as local businesses began accepting the currency. With Bitcoin ATMs now popping up all across the world, regional governments were finding themselves tasked with the question of, how the heck do we regulate this technology? This is a question that would be asked repeatedly in the coming years, and the voices behind that question would only be getting louder and louder. 2014 was a good year for Bitcoin ATMs, as the number of them installed across the globe grew to 200. By 2015, that number would grow to 500. And at this point, Lamassu had become the biggest manufacturer of Bitcoin ATMs in the world, owning over 1/3 of the total market share. Lamassu had been busy, releasing over 150 unique Bitcoin ATMs to 28 different countries. They had clearly enjoyed a lot of early success. However, that early success had also drawn a lot of attention, as there were now several other competing Bitcoin ATM startups launching around the same time that were trying to play catch-up with Lamassu. General Bytes was one of those companies, who focused on the Czech Republic and Slovakia regions, deploying over 60 different ATMs, putting them in second place overall in the industry. Another Bitcoin ATM startup that was making some noise during the early days was Genesis Coin, who launched back in 2013. Genesis Coin's ascension was a little bit different, as they gained relevance for being the industry's leading white label software platform for Bitcoin ATMs. Put it this way, if you bought Bitcoin from an ATM in the past, there's a decent chance that ATM was being powered by Genesis Coin technology. And if you're considering getting into the Bitcoin ATM business, then you probably considered working with Genesis Coin to get your fleet of machines off the ground. They offered full support for any issues encountered in the field as an operator, plus they had their own development team, ensuring that new updates were being released so that the ATM software menu was user-friendly. By 2016, the popularity of Bitcoin ATMs was exploding, with over 2,000 machines installed globally. The cryptocurrency industry was now quickly evolving, with smart contract-based blockchains like Ethereum gaining some serious momentum, along with a slew of other new altcoins hitting the scene. Bitcoin ATMs weren't immune to this trend, with some operators choosing to expand their horizons by adding in additional coins to their machines. No longer was it just a Bitcoin ATM, now it was a full-blown cryptocurrency ATM. In 2017, Robocoin ATM, a Bitcoin ATM provider, rolled out a series of machines in Ontario that had full support for Ethereum alongside Bitcoin. This trend would continue, with each successive year seeing more coins being added to Bitcoin ATMs, which were now starting to resemble more of some type of cryptographic vending machine than they were the simple Bitcoin to cash machines that they started out as years prior. By now, the industry had dozens of ATM manufacturers with thousands of operators that had a presence in almost every developed nation. The bull market of 2017 greatly helped spur interest in cryptocurrency, seeing a lot of newcomers show up. And many of those people ended up trying out a crypto ATM at some point. And as demand grew, so too did the number of ATMs being deployed.
So to buy Bitcoin, we're going to select buy Bitcoin, select the amount we're going to buy, then we scan our wallet, and then down here the light will come on momentarily and you'll put your cash in, and above you'll see it show up as to how much you're going to get, and you confirm your purchase, get a receipt, and you can see the transaction on the screen as well. And that's it, and then you hit done.
You could now find them just about anywhere. A farmer's market, a convenience store, the shopping mall, you name it, they were there. If it was a high foot traffic area that was easy to get to, then chances are there was a crypto or Bitcoin ATM close by. Eventually, this became so common that it really wasn't big news when more Bitcoin ATMs were being installed. It was becoming an accepted part of society. With so many machines out there, it was a real task to keep track of them all. One popular solution that addressed this was Coin ATM Radar, which kept detailed information on all crypto ATMs installed across the world. This was a useful tool for those that were looking to find a local ATM to use, but it also came in handy for those that were looking to conduct research on the overall health of the crypto ATM market. The Bitcoin ATM landscape had clearly changed over the years, so much so now that it wasn't even being called a Bitcoin ATM anymore. That term had slowly evolved to crypto ATM. And that's not the only thing that was changing. No longer were these ATMs only of interest to startups and entrepreneurs who were looking to make a little bit of extra coinage. Now, big businesses including banks were getting involved with crypto ATMs. It was a great branding opportunity, and banks already had a monopoly on ATMs out there, so if they were friendly to crypto, then this was the next logical step. As a new decade was coming into focus with the 2020s, so too were some new narratives that were showing up. One of those narratives was contactless transactions, which came in handy during the COVID-19 pandemic. The lockdowns pushed a lot of people to start finding ways of making money while stuck at home, so crypto naturally became a very popular search term. This was an important factor during this time period because if you're using crypto, it probably meant you weren't using cash physically, which was going back and forth, hand to hand between people who could be sick. Unsurprisingly, this led to a surge in the usage of crypto ATMs, and that just led to more and more ATMs being deployed to meet demand. By 2022, it had been 9 long years since the first Bitcoin ATM went online in Vancouver, Canada, back in 2013. This was a good time to stop and reflect upon all the momentum that crypto had managed to build up for itself since then, given that in 2022 there were almost 39,000 crypto ATMs operational. That is a lot of growth. Part of this growth wasn't just in the amount of crypto ATMs that were out there, but also what the crypto ATMs were now offering customers. One such example of this can be found with Velorix, who made some noise in 2022 when they announced that they would be releasing a decentralized finance or DeFi-powered crypto ATM. The machine allows you to swap different cryptocurrencies while also conducting a burn of their VEX token every time a transaction is processed through one of their ATMs. They also offer an app to track your holdings along with a slew of other services, and it's this type of model that could be what the future of crypto ATMs eventually looks like. And speaking of the future, it looks very bright when it comes to crypto ATMs. They're still growing at a rapid pace, with some advanced nations having already reached the historic 1,000 crypto ATMs installed milestone. And if you want to get even more bullish on the future of crypto ATMs, then you can get your fix by learning that the crypto ATM market is expected to be worth almost $17 billion by the year 2033. Their proliferation is still causing regulators headaches as they tackle how to treat these cryptocurrency dispensing machines of goodness. The battle here is between not burdening small ATM operators with undue red tape, while also maintaining some level of transparency in the process of buying and selling crypto for cash. Given that there's a real war being waged on cash right now, this probably won't be the last time we hear about this struggle for freedom. In closing, Bitcoin or crypto ATMs have clearly played a major role in the global adoption of cryptocurrency. They tend to be easily forgotten and overlooked though, sitting in the corner of a hasty market or blending into the background of an airport terminal. But someone out there is definitely using these machines, and a lot. To be fair though, these aren't for everyone, as the fees can be quite high compared to traditional crypto exchanges, so they're not great for big purchases. They do get A+ though when it comes to accessibility and convenience. Two things this industry must absolutely get right if it expects to onboard the rest of our species to become full-time cryptonauts. So, the next time you're out for a day in the city, take a moment to check out your surroundings, because you may just find that there's a crypto ATM close by waiting for you to take it for a test drive. I hope you enjoyed today's stroll down memory lane. Until next time, have fun and enjoy life, my friends. I'll be back soon with another incredible story to tell you.